It's
Wait
the worst.
a second.
I'll
This is
continue
out of
that
context.
story.
You sound like such an asshole in
I
front of a
know.
legend who looks so dapper. It's
My
like you
God.
don't belong in this. Not only in the studio, John.
In this century.
in this time period. Let's welcome back. He's like, back. I don't remember you bozos. John C. Reilly.
Good morning.
John?
What's up, bud?
Am I way too fired up for you this early in the morning?
No, I'm good. How are
By the
you?
way, I'm great, man. You really look super dapper. That's the
Thank you.
look. Do you put that look together yourself, or does someone say, "Hey, wear this"?
No, I this is my clothes. This is what I wear every day.
No,
Yeah.
no way, dude. We were thinking.
Way.
Seriously? When you go out and about, you put on the whole 3-piece suit, the whole hat look and everything?
Yeah, I just at a certain point I realized like people were going to be looking at me anyway.
Yeah.
So I might as well dress how I want to look.
That's great.
Be an eccentric person, like dress like an eccentric person, like. And I think it also makes the world a more beautiful place.
I think
It is.
you look
Also-
fan- you
Although
look,
your hoodies look amazing. I should say.
You mean our little
John,
schoolboy
Very
outfits?
dapper hoodies.
I'll be honest with you. It's
schoolboys.
odd you would say it today because we were on the elevator and there was some guy a little younger than us and he was all a nice sweater,
He's looking
nice
slick.
shoes. He was looking slick, and I said, I wonder if I would have the energy to like really dress
It's
nice
a
every
conscious
day.
effort. That's why I asked him. We're not putting in that conscious effort. We're doing the exact opposite.
I just remember my dad when I was growing up. My dad always wore a suit. My dad was like, I don't want to dress like you. I don't want to dress like a boy. I'm
Right.
a man.
You know what, man?
But
Maybe-
now it's much more hip to like, I don't know, try to appear as young as possible, as long as possible.
My grandfather.
Which I understand.
I don't think
Yeah.
my grandfather ever wore jeans. He always wore pants and always looked put together.
Does a different sense of respect come with that? Because maybe there's a reason we're talking to you about this today. I don't know why you're here talking to us.
Maybe this-
but we can learn from you, John.
Yeah, maybe it's a.
I don't know.
to be.
I mean, personally, I always feel kind of like if I overdress, then I'm covered. I never like to feel like I'm not dressed well enough for something, so I kind of go over the top every time.
Well, I got to tell you, if you can imagine this, it looks like he's going. It looks like you ever watch like old time footage? Everyone's got their best on, their Sunday's best, their trench coats, their hats, and you're like, that looks like a different time where people actually cared. And then you look at a guy today, and you look like a schlub. Basically, you and I, Rich. I feel
like the old footage where you would see like a whole the New York City like
Right.
50 years ago where everyone's walking down the street with suits and hats
and
on.
you say to yourself, yeah, there's something cool about that. Yeah, maybe we should go back to that. I'm serious because it's working. It looks good, man, for
Thank
real.
you.
John
Thank
C.
you.
Reilly back on the show, and
Shit,
And look at that. Gave us something to talk about for 5 minutes. There you go. It's a conversation starter.
It's something
I
we've
know.
been struggling with, honestly, because we're not the youngest guys anymore, John, and then we wonder why we're treated like we're schoolboys, and it's possibly
Could be the hoodies.
Yeah, it could be something to be said about the way we present.
Well, I don't even know where to start with John C. Reilly because before you got here, we were like, well, what would people
I know.
know him from?
I
Because
know.
the list goes on and on and
I
on.
want to know if he's a roller skating guy.
Oh, because that's what we were talking about before he got
Yeah,
here.
Why were you talking about roller
because
skating?
I went roller skating this weekend with my daughter.
I roller skate at least once a week,
Shut up.
if not twice a week. No, I'm not kidding. Come on, you guys did research on me and you found that out.
I don't even know if
No,
he's serious.
I
about
can
the
never-
suit.
I can never read.
Listen, I own my own roller skates.
Is
That's
that
how
true?
serious I am. Yeah,
Wait,
for
so
sure.
where do you go? And can you imagine other people be like, "Is that John C. Reilly?"
Well,
No,
there's a
it can't-
lot
it
of
can't
great. There's a lot of great roller rinks in LA. Actually, yeah. There's
I went to Skateland in Northridge yesterday.
Skateland is a great one. That's a real big one.
I tell him there's such a scene. You could tell guys who have the old school moves where that used to be their scene. He's not
Yeah.
believing me.
World of Wheels reopened down on Pico. There's a huge one in Ventura. That no, it's empty most of the time, but it's enormous, really fun.
Are you good?
I'm all right.
Do you have the move like those groove moves? Like you
I do a lot of, like chair dancing.
Yeah.
I do kind of a lot of chair dancing
you
while
can-
I'm skating.
But you can
yeah.
move your hips like that while you're doing it. and
Yeah,
everything?
sure.
Are you
I can keep the
funny?
beat. I can keep the
No
beat.
shit. He's showing off on the skates.
I don't
Man.
skate backwards.
You don't do,
though.
like,
that's,
one leg,
That's
like-
an unnecessary risk.
Yeah.
He
skating
does that thing where he
backwards.
dips down like.
Yeah.
No,
When you put
I'm
the-
afraid
when you put
my knees are not good enough for that
Oh
anymore.
wow! Look at that. Of all days for him to come in, skating and dressing dapper and everything, it's all connecting.
John, I was saying before you got here, I took my daughter, and she loves it. And I feel like it's a scene that's sort of coming back a little bit from what I'm witnessing.
Or did it ever really go away?
I don't know. I think it did.
Well, inline kind of took over.
yeah.
You know.
Right.
I can't believe we're going to spend our time talking about
about
roller
roller
skating.
skating. Well-
It's fine. I'm definitely a disciple of roller skating. Happy to spread the news.
I'm just saying how
I also
stiff
have
I
a
feel.
movie out right now called The Sisters Brothers. Be great if we could touch on that at some point.
We will get to that. It just, you know what it was? He talked about his daughter going roller skating this weekend, and I said, as a young teen, that was where I think I met girls for the first time. And I don't know did you ever live that life when you were younger? You and your buddies going to a roller skating rink?
Oh yeah, that's where I learned to roller skate when I was a tween or a teen, or whatever those. I mean, that was one of the only things we had to do on the weekend was go to the roller skating rink. So. It was that terrifying moment when it was like ladies' choice. They had these light up things, and each skate was a different theme. It was like all skate, couples, ladies' choice, and they turned down the lights, and you had to go to the center of the ring and kind of mill around while the girls kind of decided who they wanted to skate with. It was a difficult time.
Terrifying.
I was never picked, by the way. I was never picked for the ladies' choice.
That's why bowling was my choice, I think, back in those days. Yeah. Well, John, I got to tell you, when I think about your career, man, I'm blown away, especially when they hand us, because we interview a lot of people, when they hand us your filmography, it's its own
and it's a 5-page printout.
It's a booklet.
It's the most impressive thing I've ever seen.
And here's what I think about, though, Rich. You know, like, your career is so amazing because you're a guy, and there's not many people, like, I'll give you an analogy. There's not many people that could pull off the actor/rock star thing. There's people that do it, but few and far between. You're a guy that pulls off the comedic stuff, and the serious stuff, the way that most people can't. Like, I was thinking about it, like Tom Hanks, you know, who doesn't do enough comedic stuff.
Yeah, who else? Not many. That could
Right, that's a good example, actually. Tom Hanks, he does toggle back and forth between stuff.
He's capable of it, too.
Yeah,
right?
he's
Like,
great.
I wish you would do the more bachelor party, slapstick, goofy stuff and have fun with that because he'd be great at it. John, you're one of the guys, I was thinking about it, who, I mean, people do it and try, but you do it, the animation, Wreck-It Ralph, the Step Brothers stuff, you know, like, and then the serious stuff. It's amazing.
Just lucky, I guess.
or
really
super gifted and like really got some serious chops that
Let's
maybe
not. I wouldn't say that. I'm a modest guy from Chicago, but really, no. It is a lot of it is luck, and a lot of it is also the audience being willing to let you do stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, it's not their fault that they're stereotyped into a certain kind of work. It's the audience likes them to do that, so they want it. But me, for whatever reason, variety is the thing they want from me. So I'm happy to do it.
Hey, John, are you able to get emotional or wrapped up in a movie or something you're in?
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of embarrassing to admit, but for sure, yeah. Well, first of all, there's all the other performances that you haven't seen.
Gotcha.
And then there's also the film is like a director's medium, so the way a director constructs a film, that's the first time I'm seeing it, too. So you do become an audience member. And then there's this other thing that happens when you're watching your own work. If it's emotional stuff, you're not necessarily getting emotional watching the performance. You get emotional because you remember being emotional. Right. You remember, that day I was crying, and you kind of like relate to your experience back from then. But
do you relate back?
I don't watch my own work a lot. I should point that out. I probably watch it once at the premiere, and then
I think it'd be cool if you
never
did.
Again.
Yeah, I think isn't that a way to get better in your craft or not?
Yeah, definitely. You got to see like what's coming across on screen as opposed to what you thought was coming across.
When you watch back, are you watching you said the emotions you felt that day? Do you mean personally, like shit you're going through personally?
No. Well,
or the character.
No, yeah, like whatever you have to do to get to that emotional place as an actor, like. It feels very real to you as a person, so then when you see it again, it kind of reminds you, like, I was upset that day.
John, when did you realize you had that skill? In between roller skating and doing slow dances. No, seriously, when did you realize that, wait, I have an ability to channel these emotions and make them believable, and how did you put that all together?
I started doing it when I was about 8 or 9 years old, actually, going to the local park near my house, doing musicals and theater and drama classes and stuff like that, so... It's not that I ever realized, like, wow, I have a special talent. This will be what I do for the rest of my life. It was more like, this is fun. I'm going to keep doing this. Like, these people are weird like me. Like, I'm going to keep, hanging out with theater people. And then it wasn't really until I finished college that I realized, wait, this could be my job. I kept thinking I'll have to get a job in order to keep acting, but then acting became my job. I was really lucky.
Do you remember the first gig you landed where you said, well, the money involved with this is enough where actually this is my job?
I started out doing professional theater in Chicago when I finished college, and then Yeah, I remember my first movie. Well, I didn't make a huge amount of money, but I made like equivalent of people's salaries for the year in my family that
Right.
way, and then I realized, wait a minute, this is crazy money. Like,
What was your last real job? Meaning not
I
acting.
work very hard at every job I do.
You know what I mean?
Like I don't know, like you mean like not acting.
Yeah, not
yeah.
acting. Like, yeah.
Let's see. Probably I was a catering waiter in Chicago.
That
like
was it.
hundreds and hundreds of weddings. Yeah, I used to do a lot of weddings. I saw a lot of people get married, and a lot of relatives
guy
get
telling you-
embarrassingly drunk, and
That's
some
the best
bad
though.
dancing.
Some guy's telling you he wants an extra piece of roast beef, or that you didn't cut his slice good enough.
No, it's more like,
And you're
who's
in the
the
back-
fish? Who's the fish? Who's the are you, decaf?
And in the back of your mind, you're like, you know what you have cooking somewhere in there. You got to understand where
but
this
then
is
you
going.
gotta realize
I was
it's a-
happy to be making money, man. I was happy to be, surviving. Like, and now when I go to a lot of events now where there's people wearing tuxedos, passing out drinks and stuff, and I always make a point to stop and say, "Hey, man, been there, done that.
But
How you guys doing?"
You know what's crazy though? There's a ton of people that got married and have no clue that John C. Reilly poured their decaf coffee.
That's so funny. They're gonna
That's
go
amazing.
they're gonna be going through pictures one day. Wait a minute. Wait. John C. Reilly?
oh man,
I wonder. That's never come up. I wonder if it will.
Somebody
though.
has a photo.
Yeah,
of
if
what
you got
did.
married and you in Damasty Catering in Chicago did your wedding, please reach out, send us your photographs.
John, you obviously put a lot of hard work into this. That's not what I'm saying, right? You're a busy actor too. Like you got so much stuff going on always. But can you imagine working a regular job, or was that never? Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a kind of working class Irish Lithuanian family on the south side of Chicago, and like the refrain when I was a kid was like, not "What do you want to be when you grow up?" It was like, "Get a job, get a job."
Whatever it is to survive, I guess.
Yeah, so I definitely understand the value of hard work, and yeah, and sometimes when this job gets really stressful and like you're under the gun and you're out there in public and the pressure of it all, I definitely think sometimes like, yeah, carpentry might be a little more relaxing than this.
I'm looking at everything from the Dewey Cox story to obviously
that, by the way.
Talladega Nights,
Love
Step
that.
Brothers, Never Been Kissed, a million things that we grew up loving you in. Then I think the animated stuff. How do you categorize that? Because I have a daughter and I'm constantly watching Sing and I'm watching Wreck-It Ralph, which by the way, when I said the emotional thing at the end, that makes me cry every time.
Wait till you see the sequel.
It's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we get pretty. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I mean, how is that not easy work for you because you're such a great actor. Your voice is so recognizable. Do you put a lot of hard work into the voice acting?
Well, it's a long-term job. Like that Wreck-It Ralph job is the longest job I've ever had.
Right.
The longest term of employment from the same company I've ever had my whole life. So,
Right.
and I actually really liked going to Disney every day, like having a place to go, like a regular job. I mean, you guys do it every day, but for me, like my job's so, unstable in different places and different times. Like it was really fun to be able to go into Disney and do that every day. And what's wonderful about doing voiceover work is you never have the pressure of the sun going down. There's never like a crew waiting like, hey, come on, because you're always ahead of the animators. You record for 4 hours.
That's cool, yeah.
And it takes 3 or 4 weeks for the animators to catch up, so you have the luxury of time all the time. So there's always like a nice lunch in the middle of the day when you're there, and you get to improvise, and you can just try it as many different ways as you want,
And it lives on. And it lives
a lot
on.
of freedom.
It
Yeah.
lives on.
for
It lives
sure.
on forever when you think about it. Like you do a voice. I think of guys like you as Wreck-It Ralph or Kristen Bell, who we've had on the show a bunch of times. Like she's in Frozen. If you're in one of these movies, that's for generations. It's gonna be there.
Yeah.
You're the voice. Do you ever? People have you say hi to their kid in the Wreck-It Ralph voice and all that. That's probably
Yeah, for
fun
sure.
yet irritating.
Actually, when people come up and they're like, Bobby, come and meet. It's Wreck-It Ralph. It's Wreck-It Ralph. And if the kid is younger than 7,
I feel like a little 7-year-old waiting to hear it right now.
well,
really no different.
if you're younger than 7, I realize now that you think cartoons are real.
right, yeah.
So when you're 5 years old and your parent says, hey, Bobby, look, it's Wreck-It Ralph, and you look at this weird guy in a store, you're like, you can see them looking at me like that's not him. It doesn't look like him.
No.
Not wearing overalls.
But it's like that feeling.
and then
too.
you open your mouth and they're like, they get this like spooked look on their
It is
face.
him.
Like, wait, it sounds like him.
How's he doing that? It's
Yeah,
like
but
when
that-
we would
that
see Mel
really is-
Blanc doing it, or when we would see the other old school Disney guys doing it, and you're like, oh shit, you're blown away. That's how people look at you now, and when they hear that voice, you know, they're like, oh my god, it's the voice.
I think back in the day, voice actors used to be just voice actors. You know, a lot of the famous Disney guys, I don't really have a face to put with the voice, you know. But now a lot of actors who do live action movies also do the voiceover stuff. So we have these pictures in our heads. But
John C. Reilly here on the
Yeah.
Covino and
Now
Rich show.
let's talk Sisters Brothers. The Sisters Brothers. We were watching the trailer and some clips earlier. Tell us about this because I saw Jake Gyllenhaal in there, a bunch of
out right now.
Joaquin Phoenix. Tell us about this.
well, it's called The Sisters Brothers. And I play Eli's sisters, and Joaquin plays Charlie's sisters. We're two brothers who are hired killers in 1851 in San Francisco in the Pacific Northwest. And we're sent by our crime boss, played by Rutger Hauer, to go kill someone that's wronged him. And we've spent our whole lives, you know, this guy found us when we were little kids after we killed our father and turned us into these hired guns. And so when you meet us in the movie, we're like, getting worn out by this life, and we're looking for this guy. We're supposed to kill him. There's a lot of really dark humor, but the movie's really about brothers. It's about the relationship between brothers and what that's like. Those kind of relationships where you're sort of trapped. You know, it's like you both love the person and you hate them, and you can't get away from them, but you do anything to protect them.
So not stepbrothers though, the sisters brothers.
Exactly.
Right. It's a whole different
Exactly.
sort of bonding.
So this is about these two brothers, and Jake Gyllenhaal plays a guy who works with us, who tries to find the guy we're looking for, and then we go and murder him. and Riz Ahmed, we don't murder Jake. We try to murder Riz Ahmed's character, who plays this mad kind of chemist inventor guy who's figured out a way to get gold out of rivers by this special formula. And we realized, wait a minute. Our boss just wants this formula. This guy didn't do anything wrong, and he's figured out a way to get gold out of rivers. Let's join up with this guy. And so it becomes like this kind of this amazing story about what gold and what greed does to people.
Wow.
And it's a really emotional movie. It's really funny, and there's a ton of action, like horse chases and gunfights and all that.
You like getting on the horse, or is that
Yeah, you know, I grew up kind of.
I'm terrible. Anytime a girlfriend or my wife or anyone's ever been like, "Let's go horseback riding," I'm like, "Oh."
Well, what I realized,
Are you just as good on a horse as
you
you
were
are on
Hopalong
skates?
Dickie.
well, skating actually helped me with the horseback riding because it makes your legs really strong, and you need very strong legs to stay on a horse. Word to the wise, you want to grip that horse with your legs. That's the secret of staying on a horse.
Well, the Sisters Brothers, man, I'm excited about that. But since we're running out of time, I also got to say I'm super excited about the Stan and Laurel movie.
Yeah,
you got
Stan
coming
and
up.
Ollie. Yeah,
The Stan and Ollie, where you play Stan and Laurel, and
I play Oliver Hardy actually.
I mean, where you play Oliver Hardy. Are those? You didn't gain weight for that role, did you?
Oh no, I have a huge fat
Okay.
suit that I wear and all this prosthetic makeup and stuff. That would have been
I've
that would
seen
have been an unhealthy job if I gained that much
No, but
weight.
I've seen the trailer for that too, and it looks fantastic, man. It looks incredible.
So between the Sisters Brothers,
The Sisters Brothers.
between that movie and
Right.
between Wreck-It Ralph, the second one,
Yeah, and then we get Holmes and Watson with Will Ferrell coming out in December as
Dude.
well. Yeah.
Who's
You are
having
a hired
bigger
gun.
year? Who's having a bigger year than you?
It's
John
unbelievable.
C. Reilly, thank you so much for stopping by the show,
thank
man.
you. Pleasure
All right,
to see you guys.
We have more Covino and Rich next.